After learning that I will be cast in the lake of fire and brimstone with the devil and his kingdom and that there was no redemption and way out, I grew tougher more than before. I reasoned in my heart, since we will eventually be destroyed by God for eternity, I must make sure to cheat, kill and destroy as many lives as possible before I finally face the last of judgment. That night I used my powers to spiritually cover the main roads connecting two neighboring states, which has led to an accident, which was reported in 1985. About 80 lives were taken. 3 survivors of the bloody accident were Christians. They were unconscious at the site, and I decided to carry out their physical assassination. I located the hospital where they were taken for treatment, arrived at the office. I looked for the patient files, and was able to pull out the files of the 3 survivors, looked from the office with my spiritual eyes to see if the targets were sleeping. But I couldn't exterminate them because of the opposite power that acted against me. I left and went back to the house. The Queen appeared. She looked happy. She announced to me that there was joy in all the kingdoms of darkness because of the accident. She says even Satan sent greetings to you. The Queen also informed me that they were looking for a spiritual temple for me to go in due time. The place would be consecrated for me. I want to tell you, beloved, how it all started. I'm Rose from Cameroon, born twice, in Satanism and Christianity. My parents were famous fishermen and wizards in Cameroon. I had 2 younger sisters. One good morning on our fishing trips, my parents were involved in a boating accident and both drowned in the lake, including my sister. I went to school for a while, but my hope of going back to school was frustrated. Later I begged one of my parents' friends to allow me to accompany them on their fishing trips. While we were sailing down the river, a storm arose in the water and hit our boat, and we were all thrown into the lake. When I fall in the water, instead of drowning and dying, in the blink of an eye, I saw myself descending and landing in front of a splendid palace of precious stone. The building and its surroundings were beautiful, but the palace was silent. In the corridors leading to the entrance, I saw 2 young women talking to me in a mysterious language. They saw that I was a foreigner because of my outfit. Through questions, interrogations and gestures, they asked me, who brought you to our kingdom? Where are you from? When the harassment and provocation became unbearable, I felt terror and started to cry, while they tormented me with questions in their mysterious language, and they started to laugh at me, when suddenly a prestigious woman came along with 2 ladies on her left and right. They had a very beautiful appearance. The lady in the middle had a dominant presence, towards whom they came to me. The ladies questioning me abruptly stopped laughing and bowed to the dominant lady reverently. The mysterious dominant lady looked at me and introduced herself to me, saying, "I am the Queen of the Coast." She said to the 2 women, "This lady is one of my agents and my special guest." She told me, "I have been waiting for you for a while. Your parents were my servants, but they were too stubborn even if I gave them many opportunities to fulfill their obligations. Since they had become stubborn, I had to eliminate them." She asked me if you would like to see your parents. Then she drove me, in a spacious hall with a well-tiled floor and very tidy, an open closet where I saw the decapitated heads of my parents. I was shocked and troubled. I was filled with pain. She went to open another cupboard, showing me my sisters' heads all looking freshly preserved. I broke down and cried, asking her, "How can you be happy about the murder of my family?" She said, "Stop your emotional outbursts. I'll kill you if you don't cooperate with me. It's just because I love you that you're here. You'll continue where your parents left off." The Queen took me in the spiritual operating room where I saw high-tech and advanced computers, and they were big. She just raised her hand and the cover of the computer screen was open, showing the data stored in the system. The Queen said to me, "Rose, there are 33,000 demigods in my kingdom. I will see that you meet our leader Lucifer, for Satan is our president, but you are not yet qualified to meet him. When the time comes to return to the earth plane, I will organize a possible meeting between our leader and a neophyte. You would follow training sessions at the palace." It was a series of lectures given by different mysterious professors appointed each day. They left me pamphlets to study before the next study. Lectures were given according to the subjects and treated with my task objective, in their mysterious language. But I had a lot of questions during class, like, when will I return to the earth plane? etc. My teachers tell me that the answers will be provided when the time comes. I asked them how long I was in your kingdom. They have me for 9 years, although I felt like I had been there for a few months. The meal served in this underwater world was meat blood. As I refused to eat this, servants were instructed to provide me with various fruits. I was presented with a tree outside in one place. This tree had all kinds of fruits growing on it. Whenever I was hungry I was going there for food. One day the queen called me to her private room and told me about the benefits of eating her meal of human flesh and blood. She said there was nothing really bad about it. You really have to eat flesh and blood if you want to be successful in this sea plane of existence. She blatantly told me that nothing is cooked here in this world. Since I didn't want to conform, she locked me in a room containing about 5 refrigerators, which contained human meat. Later I finally decided to try these meats. When I tasted this human meat, I wanted to spit, but from that day the human flesh started to have to taste so good. Many times I was always the first to finish my meal. When the queen opened the bedroom door that day and found out that I had eaten this meat, she was so excited that she arranged for me to go for a ride. She took me in a car that looked like the exotic, computerized cars you see in the cartoon or fictional movies. The queen took me for a ride in the whole kingdom. The houses, the road were very beautiful and well maintained, but there were no people on the streets. I was taken by the queen of the coast to visit the prince of the demigods. He was equipped with powers. She took me to another high-tech car. We landed in a place where there was a pool which contained a small amount of water. After incantation, the bottom of the pool opened. A huge beast emerged from its depths. The beast looked at me menacingly. The queen spoke to him in an unknown language which the beast seemed to understand, and the queen said to me, "I leave you with the beast. I will come and get you." I wanted to run away with her, but she threw me directly at the beast. I found myself going down with the beast. Beneath this water I saw a large supermarket that exceeded the largest superstore in the world in size and beauty, in which I saw all the materials or accessories used in the land of men. I saw toys, computer instruments, musical instruments, cosmetics and occult books on the shelves containing these demonic books. I found books used by occult magicians in the physical world. I also visited shelves of human flesh and blood, where I ate human flesh and drank blood. Finally the queen appeared in a gigantic store. The queen tells me that your mission is to transport all the goods you have seen to the surface of the earth plane by any means possible. Shortly after this experience I was sitting with the queen in her room one day, and the place was full of a lot of glamorous ladies who were her agents with messages to deliver to her in our assignments. The queen told me, before you're released back to the world you must have a meeting with Satan, but you're not yet spiritually qualified to be in his presence. The queen arranged for me to embark on a trip to all the kingdom of darkness in order to incorporate all the wisdom and power needed in my operations. This journey lasted a whole month, and after the visits I was equipped with more strength and knowledge. She used her powers to split into 2. I landed in a dimension in the spiritual world where I was received by the chief of demigods, who told me, "I will be your guide during your trip regardless of what you see or feel. You are not allowed to ask questions." The first place we went was a high-tech plant designed like an iron. It was a large complex of tall buildings. They were beautiful. The structures that looked like futuristic. The gates to the buildings opened. The first place where I was taken was a big laboratory where some men were busy like ants in dealing with dry materials in containers, ignoring our presence. I forgot that I shouldn't ask questions and asked the king of demigods, "Who are they?" He responded angrily that they are scientists. Then I was taken to a factory where the food for babies were manufactured on one line assembly and placed in the cans. But I was curious. While opening the can, the food fell to the floor, spilling the powder. I tried it and I realized that it was human flesh of the corpse of disobedient agents, processed and pulsed in cane and packaged as baby food, to infuse the water spirit in babies. Later I visited the other places, and when we were hungry, and they brought us a jar on the table containing a 2-year-old girl that woke up inside the jar. I was surprised when I saw her. I asked how she got into the jar. The demigod told me, "Ask the Queen Mother how it happened." The demigod then did an enchantment and the baby became very weak, unable to cry more, and he plunged a knife into her body and her flesh was served as meal on a tray having rainbow drawings. Afterward I was taken to another place. It was a large museum with golden statues of all the notable people in the kingdom of darkness and all those had served Satan in high magic. When I was about to look at all these statues, the king of demigods asked me if I had already seen Satan the president. Then he showed me the beautiful image of Satan. The king of demigod promised to grant me power to be able to stand before the presence of Satan, for I was not yet qualified to see him in all his power. I remained very excited to see his statue too, but we couldn't see them all because he told me that the statues were countless and could take months to see them all. Finally he gave me the power to resist the presence of Satan in my right leg, where he brought an art and inserted it into my heel. He applied a large amount of magic oil over the place. That little hole that remained on my foot, but it started to close after my deliverance. Days later, after incantation and I broke the egg in the ground, immediately there was an earthquake that opened the ground, and I was taken down. I descended to the underworld and appeared before a powerful demon, who asked me who I was and what I was doing in his kingdom, and he seems not so hostile. I introduced myself as the daughter of the Queen of Coast with the mission to gain more wisdom. This devil said really there was nothing spectacular about my kingdom, you can explore my kingdom, but unlike my first journey I was free to ask questions, he would answer. I saw some land with birds flying and asked the devil what they were doing there. This devil told me that these birds were responsible for helping them plant the supernatural tree like the sweet tree in the land. Then I also saw a football field that looked like a desert with many men and women chained. By the expression in their faces it seems they haven't eaten in months, and the devil told me that these were people whose souls were given to the devil in exchange for earthly riches, material wealth, good health and power. He mentioned the name of a certain prophet in a country whose name I had forgotten, who made an agreement with Satan that he would regularly provide the head of 2 human beings so that his power increase and manifest in his church, that will eventually grow well. He kept the terms, providing 2 human head for years until the last years. When his debt accumulated he was reminded to keep the terms of the pact. After many warnings I traveled with my army, and we stormed his church in fury, demanding our debts to be paid, causing the erosion of the road leading to the physical building to collapse. Humans say it was presumably caused by an accident taking lives. There are many public complaints against the church, but it was supernaturally repaired by demon when ours agree to pay his debt. We have our own recognized construction company that will take on the task. Then this prince also showed me in a large screen photos of many people. These were the rich, the scientists, philosophers, and the demon told me that some of these people were dead while the others were still alive, but they were in partnership with the kingdoms of darkness. I said I knew some of these people and they were still alive at the time. The devil said that if any of these people you saw there, if they break one of the laws that guide the kingdom of darkness, they will be subject to punishment of irrevocable death. After passing 3 days with that demon I realized that what he say about his own construction and repair company and the road damaged was actually true. I went back to my room and resumed my work in my new moon temple of Cameroon. With the temple new responsibilities were given to me. The guests in my temple were political religious leaders and from various walks of life. I also received a pamphlet about the laws that guide the energy use. One of them is that a member of the kingdom of darkness must not choose their powers against the other member unless it's self-defense.